So he went in there because God told him to, but he might have already been kind of ambivalent about it, kind of commonplace about it, and he gets there and there's nothing supernatural happening except the common. He wasn't looking for the supernatural because he only saw the common. He saw a potter doing just what the potter's supposed to do. And a lot of folks go, well, I went to church last week and I heard something good, but this week there's a work on the table. The potter is spinning that table and he's working it because it's in that environment I'm going to speak to you. He goes, the potter was making a work. And when you start looking at the analogy of a lump of clay and the potter and a new church, sometimes I feel Canvas is just a wet lump of clay right now. Oh, Lord. There are places with better buildings up and down the streets. There are places with more on staff and more this and more that. And, you end up going, Lord, I feel like just such a wet lump of clay sometimes. And it's about that time that you realize, but the potter is doing a work. The potter sees in the lump of clay the finished product, the vision. The potter sees what could be, not what is. The potter sees the potential. The potter sees the way things are heading. And the potter goes, be patient because I'm creating a work as I'm spinning it, turning it, and working it. Be patient. It's going to begin developing. It's going to begin coming out. I'm doing a work. I'm doing a work. The next verse actually goes, and the potter marred the clay. Kind of ruined it. Without getting into all the details, he took that lump and he reformed it. He refashioned it. Here's what I view that verse kind of about Canvas Church as it applies. Take it for whatever you feel it's worth. There are folks at Canvas Church who they're like, I've been up on the potter's wheel before. Me and my whole family. And you know what? We had a bad experience. We heard something wrong, or we got treated wrong, and man, that work that was happening and your involvement in it, man, it got marred. And the verse doesn't say that the potter, in anger, grabbed the lump of clay that was marred and threw it through the window. It doesn't say that. It says he took it and he began reforming it and refashioning it. I know the stories of the people at Canvas Church. Some of them have been marred. But God's taking you and saying, hey, I see vision and potential in you. I see what you can be. I see your part in my kingdom. I see what you can contribute, what you can be. It may take you rolling up your sleeves. It may take you doing something sacrificially, but I see what you can be. Marred or not, I can use you. And it was because a potter followed through on that lump of clay that there will be people who centuries later will be digging through the dirt to find remnants of that. Putting it as something that's honored, something that once was forgotten, but honored today. God wants to use us like that as a church. Lump of clay or not, marred or not, God sees what can be. So I'm stoked about the stories that are yet to come. I know the stories that are here. I'm stoked about the stories that are yet to come. The kind of thing that blows my mind is the times where God introduces me to someone and then months or years later brings them back into our lives at some level or not, or something. And I'm like, Lord, you made that happen way back there. And today it's become this. Even Josh. I hadn't talked with Josh in about 8 years. And our paths just crossed, not on accident, of course, but not intentional. And he's become, he moved his whole family here to start Canvas. And I tell that story all the time, I know, and he's probably tired of hearing that. But I'm saying that God starts working these things and starts seeing in the lump of clay what could be. What could be. So the vision of Canvas Church is to point people toward Jesus, who will raise up followers of Jesus, who will one day be able to point other people toward Jesus. And I believe God's going to use that. I believe God's going to do that. We can spend the rest of our lives doing life with you, building God's kingdom one life at a time, so that we can start seeing lives changed and ultimately even the city changed. We want to encourage you guys, if you're looking for a home church, or if you know someone who is, you can latch on to this vision. Send them to our YouTube channel to listen to the vision of Canvas Church. Bring them next Sunday to Super Sunday. It's going to be a great time for them to get connected and plugged in. Some of you are new and have been around the last few months, kind of checking things out over the summer. Get plugged in at the connection party. You can sign up for it at the back. There's so many great ways for us to build what God is doing here, and we want to encourage you to be a part of that. Bow your heads if you will.